Hello everyone and welcome to the recap videos of the Moja Extravaganza, a tournament I'm playing in Johannesburg, South Africa. It is the 2025 edition and brand new venue. It's really good to see a lot of my friends again and of course making new friends in the process. I haven't played in 6 months, so I'm pretty sure this is the longest in a while that I've gone without playing at all. And I'm both scared that I'm too rusty and also worried that I won't be chess fit enough to make it all the way to round 9 with still a little bit of energy left, you know. And I want to, at least make some time as well to do the recap videos. All the games are streamed live on Twitch and YouTube, and 7 incredible people have volunteered their time to also commentate on these games. Today, round 1, we had Maripant. A huge shout out to Maripant. Thank you so much. I know that there was a lot of problems with the transmission first round things, and I'm hoping things will be better tomorrow. And somehow she soldiered through and really came in clutch. So thank you, Maripant. Alright, let's jump straight into the game. This was round 1. I played against a fellow South African. It's going to be a very tough competition. Nothing is more difficult than being the top seed and proving that you belong there. I know that everyone I play against is going to be putting up a really good fight. Anyway, straight to the game. I played with the white pieces in the first round, and lo and behold, my opponent played the French against me. I'm an avid French player, and nothing's worse than for me to face the opening I love with the other color. And I also believe that on board 2 of the ladies section, there was also a French defense, sort of a Tarash, but with c5, black plays c5, move 3. I went with the exchange variation, and you know what people love more than the French is the French exchange. And the reason I played it is because I quite like some variation of a system that I usually play for black. But with white, you're a tempo up, and I wanted to see how far I could get. I thought even just simplifying things, being the more experienced player and maybe the better player, I would be able to convert. If she maintains a quality, then she deserves a draw. And if I just play poorly, I deserve to lose. So whatever happens. I don't think there was anything I could have done differently, especially because I didn't have a chance to prepare for the first game. And my repertoire is still very much worse for wear. Alright, so I played knight c3, which is a very uncommon move. But the reason being is that I want to try and long castle as quickly as possible. If I play knight to d2, then it blocks the bishop. This way I'm able to get my pieces out as quickly as possible and long castle. But here she surprised me and played bishop to b4. Never seen this before, and I really just wanted to play something like knight g to e2, and that way I would be defending the knight on c3. I could easily play queen d2 on the next move and continue with my idea of long castling. But knowing me and knowing my rusty nature, I thought let's be fancy and try to trade queens. Because going into an endgame or sort of middle game position with no queens, I felt like I could be better. But here I actually missed after long castles that she could take on c3. I was then going to take on e7, king takes e7, and then take on c3. And I thought, okay, maybe it's actually just okay, and maybe better for me as well. She took the queen. I was very happy to see this, because now I've developed. I'm up quite a few tempi here as well. And that's what I was counting right from the start. When she spent another move, moving the bishop from d6 to b4, I felt like, okay, ball's in my court. Because now if I can highlight, sorry, I don't have my mouse, I'm just using the trackpad. So we have the knight, that's 2 pieces, 3 pieces developed. Castling, count that as a developing move, that's 4, 5. versus black's 2. So I'm up 3 tempi, very happy, and it matters. Even when the queens are off the board, it matters very much. It means I can start attacking a lot sooner, and that is exactly what I started to do here. Knight b to d7, stopping me from taking on f6 and doubling the pawns. So here, I capitalize on being up in development by playing knight to b5. I'm attacking c7. It looks fairly easy to defend, just bishop a5, but there's another piece I can introduce to the attack, and that is the bishop. It has served its purpose on g5 and can now be brought back to f4. I'm eyeing c7 quite nicely. And if c6, which looks like a very normal move, I play knight d6 check and stop her from castling. And to lose your castling rights, maybe it's not so bad with the queens off the board, but it is uncomfortable when you want your pieces to be harmonized and your rooks to be connected. That's going to take a lot longer now. So she decided to sacrifice the pawn, or perhaps blunder it, and I just took it. Happily. If I can convert this game advantage, small advantage at a time, I'll take it. But it seems like being a pawn up in this position is a lot more than just +1. I played f3 just to stop the pieces from having any dreams whatsoever, because nothing is better than crushing your opponent's dreams and hopes and livelihood. Yeah. And b5, expected it. Maybe she wants to play rook a7. And I just continued trying to bring my pieces in. So rook e1, and also with rook a7 attacking my bishop, I wasn't going to lose a tempo having to move the bishop back, because I simply attacked the rook by retreating the bishop to d6. Rook moves somewhere. If it moved to d8, I can play bishop e7. So rook e8, and I wanted to trade rooks, because that file is mine. But where do I put the knight? I wanted the knight on f5. It seemed like a really good square to be on. And if I put it on g3, and she pushes g6 to stop me, that's caused a weakness in the enemy camp, and that means the knight has served its purpose and can be redirected to another square. Or, the idea that I implemented was knight g3, g6, and now there's a hook, h4. Knight f8. My opponent picked up that knight, was unsure of where to place it, and held on to it for a couple minutes before putting it on f8. And it really pushed my visualization skills, because nothing says visualization than trying to imagine a piece that was on a square that is no longer on a square because it was taken off the board. Profound, I know. h5. I wanted another open file. I was greedy. Rook takes, and even though I had the e file, this didn't seem like a lot of prospects on that file. After knight e6, I thought, okay, you've traded a pair of rooks, exactly what I wanted to do. I'm up a pawn, I need to exchange pieces. And I went back to my very happy open file. Rook to d7, pushing my bishop to a square it actually wants to be on. If you're wondering if d4 is free, it is not. Knight takes d4 could lead to bishop c5 or bishop e5 picking up a piece. So rook d7, and now I'm threatening something very sneaky but also very obvious. If the knight moves anywhere but to h7, I have checkmate on h8 with the rook. So the knight moved to h7. There's also king g7 here, which could make things a little interesting. I can position my knight on e2, push f4, push g4 if I want. Yeah, lots of interesting ideas. But okay, knight h7, and I still went knight e2. Because now, if black wants to push pawns on the king side, my bishops are going to be attacking those pawns. And it's only going to create more weaknesses in black's camp. But look at how uncoordinated black's pieces are. The bishop on c8 has not moved once this game. The rook is blocking any prospects the bishop has on that diagonal, and the knight on e6 seems to be the only good piece for black. Knight on h7 is only blocking a checkmate, but you know what they say, a knight on the rim probably spent way too long at the bar last night. So knight to e2, and I just bring my bishop back, and now I'm attacking g6. I just wanted to keep things simple, solid, and satisfying. The 3 S's you should never forget. So f5, and my bishop can just simply go back. And now it can't be pushed away from the c5 square. It's a nice outpost for this bishop. Rook to f7, and now I have this beautiful rook h6. There is a way to defend it, and that's by pushing it. But there are so many pawn weaknesses in this position that after knight e3, I'm simply gaining another pawn. I'm attacking e6 with the rook, bishop can't defend the pawn, and she has to give up another pawn. After king g7, I double down on f4, bishop e6, take the pawn on f4, and after bishop to a2, and we all know this trick, it is considered a rookie mistake, and something even Bobby Fischer has fallen for. We remember the first round of the 1972 match, of course, and you know, the way to deal with it is to simply trap the bishop with b3, and my opponent resigned. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow for the round 2 recap, or perhaps before that for the round 2 broadcast, which I'm hoping will be live and you'll have something to see and watch. All right, everyone, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm watching you. Bye.